Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this was really interesting to read that Kotaku, apparently, and a bunch of other sites are going after a lead designer on the new Harry Potter game because that designer used to have what they consider to be an anti-SJW YouTube channel.
Okay, so it doesn't have it anymore?
Has not posted to it in a while, as I understand, but because he did at one point, he's problematic and he needs to be canceled. It couldn't have anything to do with the fact that they don't want there to be any Hogwarts game at all because of the JK Rowling situation, you know. But I have to give a hat tip to Black Sage D, who sent this over last night. We didn't get time to cover it, but this is really interesting. So you gotta wonder, you know, how much of a grudge these journalists are going to have and for how long.
Right, because you said this is the guy who did the one review on, which one was it, the PlayStation?
Yeah.
And remember the one that we talked about that was the entire article was almost all about politics instead of the actual PlayStation review?
Yeah.
That same person.
The initial article, now it was uncovered by somebody else, but this initial article was done by Ian Walker, who also was the one who did, the PlayStation review that was fine for the first like 10 paragraphs, and then it just kind of devolved into commentary
I hate Trump.
Yeah,
that's basically
the state of the world and all of that, and how can I be happy when the world's falling apart?
Oh yeah, I remember. The PlayStation gave him one to review to sell PlayStations, and he basically was like, "Well, only certain people are going to be, you know, entitled enough to have, you know, a PlayStation go socialism kind of thing."
Yeah, and so this is the guy that you know, really dredged up. Now, it was pointed out by some other people first, and then a lot of other media outlets jumped on it. So we're going to talk about that because this one, you know, it's kind of cuts close to the bone for us because of our YouTube presence.
Basically, it just seems like they want the game canceled. So they're just trying to use this as an excuse.
I believe that is the ulterior motive.
Yeah,
I think it's two birds with two owls with one stone. Mm-hmm. They want the game canceled because it is.
You have to feed two birds with one scone.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Peta's going to get
How dare you. Go cancel yourself.
Very angry. So before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 178,000 subs. Thank you for the support. Woo. And so Black Sage D kicked this over last night. I had not heard about it. This guy works for Warner Brothers right now. And before working for Warner Brothers, he had a YouTube channel where he offered up his hot takes on the state of the world.
No, we didn't watch his YouTube channel. I'm not familiar with him.
No, but his name is Troy Leavitt, and people unearthed that here are some of his videos. This is coming from Liam Robertson, I guess. It's okay to be a gamer. Why I'm opposed to net neutrality.
A lot of people were opposed to net neutrality.
In defense of John Lasseter. Well, I guess I'm in trouble too because I said I didn't think what he did was.
I mean,
really that bad.
I actually think net neutrality would be, you know, is something that we need. But, you know, not everybody has to agree with me.
He's allowed to. Response to Phil DeFranco's take on net neutrality, the injustice of social justice. NBC News blames gamers for hijack of Discord servers. Thought crimes.
These are like years ago.
These were like 3 or 4 years ago, yeah.
Okay.
But he made the cardinal sin of effectively defending Gamergate. Now, he said he didn't agree with everything that went down.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you say that because we say it all the time and it doesn't matter. We automatically get labeled because Twitter says.
Right, but because he said, you know, I understand where it came from. You know, in defense
I'm not trying to cancel anyone. My ass. Anyway.
Yeah, he is. He absolutely is. So we're going to talk about this because this is a case of, I think, the media working back channel together across multiple websites. And we know they talk. We know they talk on Slack. You guys are probably talking about us right now in Slack somewhere.
What's probably funny is this person probably did something to one of these people they didn't like. And now they're like, well, we're going to get them taken down now. Ha, 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 ha.
Or it could just be a case of, you know, everybody freaking out about Hogwarts. So
I don't know if that's the case because they're targeting one person in particular.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's awfully weird. You'd have to go through every person on the game, and how would you know?
That's true.
You know?
Anyway, Liam Robertson. Now, here's what gets me. These videos were out there for years. And now it comes up. And, you know, I almost feel like, again, this is what we talk about, the Twitter bullying. It's like, I think they find the target, they unearth some juicy details, and then they all dogpile.
Yeah.
It'll start with one blue check tweeting something like, "Did you know?" And then another blue check comments, and then they're talking about it in Slack. And the next thing you know, you start getting a whole bunch of hit pieces on all the usual suspect blogs, that this guy's problematic.
Is this when we get accused that we're Gamergate again?
Even though we weren't around for Gamergate.
We weren't around, had nothing to do with Gamergate. This is where they accuse us of being Gamergate when we aren't.
Yeah, so Liam Robertson, makes videos for Did You Know Gaming. And
was he up for the job and didn't get picked?
I don't know.
And now all of a sudden, it's just awfully odd. I'm not trying to cancel anyone, but here's how we cancel them.
For 3-year-old, 4-year-old videos.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make clear, I'm not trying to cancel anyone. I just wanted to let people know this because I feel like it's something people might like to know before deciding whether or not to support this project.
I'm not trying to cancel them, but I'm saying you shouldn't buy this product so that they fire him so that we'll buy this product that we're not going to buy either way. Because we're mad about Harry Potter and we're not going to buy it no matter what. But we're going to try to say we will, so they fire this person and then not buy it anyway. Ha 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 ha, we win twice. That's what this whole thing's about. Yeah, in Leavitt's defense of John Lasseter video, he discussed how Lasseter was personally nice to him when they worked together on Cars 2. He's not going to like what I have to say then, because you're talking about sexual harassment allegations. There were allegations, but they were never proven, for one. 2, Disney wasn't going to keep some guy around who was sexually assaulting people till the end of his contract if they thought it was really that he was really doing bad, egregious things, because they would have got sued and they're afraid of lawsuits. They kept him around to the end of his contract. I'm sorry, that's a little odd. And if he's such a terrible person, how come all these people that, are signing up to work with him right and left? Yeah, that's the thing. I've actually, and I've said multiple times about John Lasseter, I said, in this day and age, honestly, you can't really be a hugger anymore. I get why people do it. I'm uncomfortable with being hugged and stuff like that. I don't like, I don't like it. I'm just like that. Just don't touch me. So, but beyond that, like you said, and I just talked about this the other day with Skydance. Apple is working with John Lasseter. A bunch of Disney veterans are working with John Lasseter. We've got Jane Fonda working with John Lasseter after Emma Thompson dropped out. Did you read this thing? He characterizes the MeToo movement as a moral panic and downplays Lasseter's many sexual harassment allegations, essentially because he doesn't think any of them qualify as outright illegal, and he believes they were less severe than Harvey Weinstein's. Because they didn't prove it, and Harvey Weinstein was out there sexually, actually forcing people to have sex with him. There's a difference. John Lasseter maybe touched somebody on the leg and he shouldn't have, touched somebody on the shoulder that he shouldn't have. Again, Disney being Disney, from what we know of Disney, if John Lasseter was doing something illegal, he would have been terminated that day. They let him ride out his contract. Other companies that I would consider progressive, other actors who I would consider progressive, are working with John Lasseter. John Lasseter is working with rooms full of female writers currently. Mm-hmm. Both of the movies that were announced, as far as I can, they both had female writers, female producers, whatever. They're not afraid of him. You cannot compare Harvey Weinstein to John Lasseter touching someone on the leg. There's a huge difference. You are comparing apples and oranges. And then the Me Too movement. I'm going to say this right now. I'm a woman, and I, the Me Too movement. She is. The Me Too movement. They have already proven that there are factions that were behind the Me Too movement that were in question for the way their funds disappeared or the way the funds were handled. They're supposed to help people, and then the money ended up going to giant galas and things like that, and didn't actually help the people it was supposed to help. Yeah. And there's a lot of people who were women that were coming out saying, I'm against harassment and assault, but I don't really back the Me Too movement because I think a lot of people are just misusing it as a PR stunt, which it turns out they were. So I'm sorry. And a rape apologist. Oh my God, I can't even. That is not. Also, just because a woman says it happened doesn't necessarily mean it happened. It doesn't mean it didn't happen either. Yeah, I mean, we weren't there, but I can tell you, again, knowing Disney, if there was, because they look into this shit seriously. If there was something really, really egregious going on with John Lasseter, he would have been out the damn door immediately. And I think that the stuff that's coming out now, these hit pieces, there was a recent article talking about Pete Docter and Soul and how Disney is, Pixar's making a comeback after the toxicity of John Lasseter, which hasn't been mentioned in an awfully long time because Skydance is getting ready to compete directly with Disney. And they're pulling all of Disney's people away from them. And he's like, I don't want anybody canceled, but here's a list of why he's a shitty person and you should cancel him. Dude, You're a liar. You're deliberately putting out there saying, here's why you should cancel him, and then saying you don't want to. That is not true. If you didn't want him canceled, you wouldn't mention any of that stuff at all.
Yeah, so here we go. Kotaku, Ian Walker. Again, remember, this guy, he did a PS5 review that turned into, oh my God, the world sucks in Trump. So take it for what it's worth. This is the article. What they want is they always make sure they put the person's name first. So when somebody Googles their name, this is what they see. That's
why they do it.
This is why they do it. And yeah, this totally is an attempt to cancel. Hogwarts Legacy lead designer used to run anti-social justice YouTube channel. Troy Leavitt is a lead designer at Warner Brothers development studio Avalanche Software, currently working on the game already is controversial Harry Potter game Hogwarts Legacy. He also ran a reactionary YouTube channel focused on attacking feminism and social justice for a year. This information was first provided by Did You Know Gaming contributor Liam Robertson, who highlighted the channel Friday evening on Twitter. Highlighted. That's what we're calling it? Highlighting the channel?
You has a Do You Know Gaming contributor who probably talks back channel with Kotaku and all those people.
Yes.
I don't want him canceled, but I'm going to go back channel and make sure everybody writes articles to get him canceled.
I'm going to put a scarlet letter on this guy. So first thing Monday morning, Warner Brothers is going to cancel him, which is going to throw the entire production of this game we don't want made into chaos. And there's gonna be so much of a stink around this game between this guy and JK Rowling. And let's go through and find, dig into the personal politics and histories of every person associated with this game. Because this game can't happen because it's controversial because we said so, because JK Rowling gets a nickel for every copy sold, even though she has really nothing to do with it.
Right.
Because
that's at the end of the day what this is about.
That's what this is about. Personal opinion. Video titles such as The Injustice of Social Justice and Praise of Cultural Appropriation.
Social justice isn't just.
Thought crimes are becoming real.
The praise of cultural appropriation, they say, as they culturally appropriate other culture, stuff like manga and anime.
Yeah.
Thought crimes are becoming real. Yes, I can tell you that is true. Thought crimes are becoming real because Twitter says so.
I love it. It's like they have to explain 1984. It's like likening the fictional surveillance state to real-world equality
because
movements.
It's very similar. 84 is almost exactly what's happening now. It's Kotaku, so what do you expect?
Yeah,
you can't expect actual real journalism and integrity out of Kotaku anyway.
But it's not stopping with Kotaku. That's what I'm saying. You want to know how this works. And it's not just gaming journalists. We're seeing it with, because they're all kind of in the same boat. It's not just gaming journalists. It's also the pop culture journalists, the comic book sites. These people, I'm not saying they all talk back channel, but a lot of them do, and they share tips. And once they find somebody to target, they all write in lockstep. They write articles. This person's problematic.
Yeah, you think it's just coincidental?
It's not coincidence. There's no coincidence in this, especially since he touched on Gamergate, which rankles a lot of these people.
Well, it doesn't matter. We weren't even there for Gamergate, and they keep putting us on Gamergate lists. We're not Comicsgate, and we say it all the time. They keep putting us on Comicsgate lists because they decide. It doesn't matter. You have to accept how people identify and respect their identities, unless they are assigning your identity to you, and you keep telling them it's not true. But they're gonna keep saying it anyway. But that's okay.
Yeah, he's got such hot takes on videos, including how 12 script changes could have saved The Last Jedi. That's a hot take. But he dared defend John Lasseter and Nolan Bushnell, both of which, in my opinion,
got screwed. Yeah,
by the media and the stories they ran with.
They're allegations. Here's the thing. Allegations is not the same thing as being, it's being proven. The same thing with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Amber Heard had allegations against her before Johnny Depp for abuse of her girlfriend.
Yeah.
Allegations does not mean that it's been confirmed. I can accuse this guy tomorrow of something. I'm not going to, but I could.
No.
And it doesn't make it true. It just means that there are allegations that something happened. It doesn't make it true. Now, are all allegations untrue? No. I'm not going to say that's the case, but any idiot knows the difference between an allegation and an actually confirmed, and this was years ago. If they were actually something that happened, why was it never confirmed? And why is anybody working with any of these people now if they were completely confirmed that they were horrible people and they,
People are literally leaving Disney, including a lot of women, to go work with John Lasseter. I'm just saying, if he was that bad, that would not be the case.
And he criticized Nina Sarkeesian, who didn't?
Well, that's the thing, because he said she had an uninformed fringe position.
Sometimes she does have, a weird fringe position.
Leavitt discussed his opinions on Gamergate. Gamergate, while painful at times, on the whole, proved to be a good thing. Look, again, we weren't there for Gamergate. We don't agree with everything that Comicsgate does. But the thing is that this is pushback against
this kind of behavior.
This kind of behavior right here. The media.
So of course they're going to say, well, it's bad because they liked it. Yeah, because they're pushing back against these dipshits.
Yeah. Leavitt didn't respond to Kotaku's multiple requests for comment.
He didn't respond to Kotaku's kangaroo court requests.
I would have responded with 2 words, fuck and you. And I would reiterate those words, but he can't. See, he's working for Warner Brothers now. I would have reiterated those 2 words on Twitter. Like, I will tell you on Twitter the same thing I told you in private, which is fuck and you, because I know what you're doing.
I want your multiple questions. So you harassed him for a comment, which he might not be able to give you a comment anyway, because he has to probably go through legal channels to give you one. But beyond that, it wouldn't matter what he said. It would have got twisted. It would have got, contorted and to fit the narrative that they're trying to spin. Now, I don't know this person. He might be a complete asshole for all I know. The person that's doing the game. Yeah. I don't know them. But what I can say is stuff he's saying, and that's what they're crucifying him for. A lot of people say, because alleged isn't the same thing as convicted. There is a difference.
So this is really interesting. Now they're all like, we gotcha. No, he actually told Warner Brothers he had the channel because he knew, again, you cover this kind of stuff. You know the tactics that the media has. You know you need to kind of empty the skeletons out of the closet. If you're going to go work for a company like this, you got to empty the skeletons out of the closet before you take the job because it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. So he preemptively told them. He got hired in 2018. Now, he worked on Disney Infinity. That's how he probably knew John Lasseter. He worked on Twisted Metal 2 and Jet Moto 2, both excellent games. He started back in the 90s. He's been doing this almost 25 years.
Back when stuff was good.
Back when stuff was good. He said, some of you have expressed that due to my commentary on some game industry controversies and my sympathies for Gamergate, that I might have had a difficult time should I ever want to return to professional game development. I'm happy to say that even though I disclosed my YouTube channel to Warner Brothers, it didn't appear to be an issue for them. Not that they endorse anything I've said, of course.
They can separate it.
Yeah, but at least they seem more concerned with me making a good game than pushing some kind of social justice agenda. So they're like, look, we got this guy. Warner Brothers, hire him. We got him. And then after all the juice, oh, by the way, he already told them.
But I'm not saying to cancel him, but I'm not mentioning that in the other.
Yeah, that they're already aware of it. But then that's not enough. So right after that, they hop into why this game is problematic.
It's the same thing. You guys seeing a pattern now between this video and the other video? Do you see a pattern now? We're telling you. They take one thing and then they use it to constantly double, triple, quadruple, what is 100 triple down on all this shit because they're trying to get their own way. And they're going to keep screaming until they think they can get their own way. The problem is you need to put earplugs in and let these people scream. I also want to point out, I could say this person allegedly knows what the hell they're talking about. Doesn't mean that they do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think they're trying to get the game canceled. They're trying to.
I think that's what it is too. And they're just using him. They're trying to find whatever loophole or.
Yeah, where's the weakest link? This is what they do. They put the pressure on the weakest link, and I think because they're journalists and they're watching all this stuff and they're hearing all the drama, and they know that Warner Brothers, since they had a leadership change, have been investigating quote unquote toxic people more closely, that they can put the pressure if we get rid of one of the lead developers. And that's a weak link, then they might just cancel the game altogether.
They're not going to because most people don't read Kotaku. They don't really give two shits what you say. They don't listen to us either. So they're not even going to know about any of this. They just want to play a game that's Harry Potter. They don't care.
They try to be balanced and they're like, that said,
they're not balanced. They were not balanced the way through.
Even as a lead designer, it's unlikely Leavitt has single-handedly infected every aspect of Hogwarts Legacy with an anti-feminist agenda.
Well, I'm a woman and they say I'm an anti-feminist because I'm constantly I believe in true feminism, which is about equality and equal pay, equal treatment. Women are, women and men are on the same level and things like that. Feminism now with this whole, all men, we don't need men suck, men should bow to women. The future's female, all that shit, I don't buy into. And I am a traditional feminist. And if you're talking, it depends which feminist agenda you're referring to. If you're talking about what actual feminism is, that's what I talk about. If you're talking about bastardized feminism, then that's probably what they're referring to.
Yeah, and you've had Asians call it like, you weren't feminist enough, woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, did not go well for them.
So this is okay. So this is where it's like this is the concern trolling. We see that again. I'm using his article. There are multiple articles out here that have a lot of the same talking points. And he is correct that he is just one person on the team.
Then why go out of your way the whole way through and put it at the very end?
Well, here we go. Last thing said. That said, it's obvious why folks might be wary of interacting with a game developed by someone with his beliefs, adapted from works that have been sullied by the creator's own bigoted worldview. Harry Potter might not be my personal cup of tea, but I feel for those who have seen something they cherished growing up become such a minefield of intolerance.
Oh, I think a lot of people feel that way about Kotaku, so.
Yeah, right. So there we go, guys. We're dissecting a cancellation in progress. There are always signs leading up to it. Now you know what to look for. It's like, again, they try every possible angle they can try. If something, whether it's a project or person, has been targeted for cancellation, and this guy's sin, I believe, again, his great sin is that he is associated with a game they want gone, so they're starting to dig into everybody's past to find weak links.
I can take out a YouTuber I don't like at the same time, even though he doesn't do YouTube anymore.
Yeah, because look, these games journalists are very salty about YouTubers because they are taking views away from the websites because people don't trust these websites anymore. Of course they don't. This is why. This is exactly why. They're not reading your websites anymore. So there we go, guys. They're salty about Harry Potter. They're salty about JK Rowling. And they're salty about this guy being allowed to work in the video game industry in any capacity. They're still salty about John Lasseter. We're going to hear more about Lasseter because Skydance is going to kick some ass. And they're going to be super pissed. He shouldn't be allowed to.
The difference here, I'm going to reiterate this because the difference here is I don't agree with what they're saying, and I'm not demanding their cancellation.
No.
They don't agree with someone like me, and they try to go get me canceled, or whoever this person is, or whatever. Want to know where the toxicity comes from? That's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Maybe the person wouldn't did the other articles if this kind of shit wasn't going on for him to respond to begin with.
Yeah, it's like you're giving channels like his ammo.
You're proving
daily.
him right. You guys are
proving him right. You are proving this guy right. And I'm hoping Warner Brothers doesn't cancel for that, especially if he told them ahead of time, hey, by the way, I had a YouTube channel and I talked about these things. But that also shows me that in the real world, they don't give a shit.
No.
They're just like, yeah, everybody thinks that Kotaku, etc. are crazy. So,
but you shouldn't. This whole demanding everybody think like you and agree with you, or they shouldn't be allowed to do anything, is toxic. It is bigoted. It is narrow-minded. It is bullying. All the things you claim you're against, and they're saying you're mad at this person for these things that you allege he did. You're doing the exact same thing to the umpteenth power. Yeah. So you don't get to sit there and say you have the moral high ground. I'm not asking for cancellation, but I'm asking for cancellation. You're not on the moral high ground. You are actually you're actually being the bigger bully here.
Yeah. But it's for justice. Justice! This is justice.
They don't even know what justice means.
No idea.
They have no idea.
We're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're going to continue to make videos like this.
Right.
We're going to wrap it up. We'll see you.
Bye.